Why? The Golden State Warriors visit the White House doing an awkward turn yesterday, according to a gushing Politico piece. By the way, she should have just taken a knee. That was what he was trying to do. A new year means less scrutiny for Vice President Harris. Get this, a former aide saying, quote, now that it looks like he's running, meaning President Biden, she's really being treated like what I would call a normal vice president. There's just less attention, which I think actually frees her up to focus on excelling. That's just it. She's too busy to excel. And tomorrow, the declared border czar heads to Arizona, where she will not visit the border. Joining us now is Clay Travis, founder of OutKick, and so much more. Clay, I like, sometimes there's an angle I can buy into. I don't even know why they wrote this story. What does that mean?
I think, honestly, what it means is Joe Biden and Mayor Pete have been so incompetent of late that there hasn't been much focus on how bad Kamala Harris is at her job.
Who's done nothing?
This race to the bottom in the White House, right? When you can't get on an airplane and fly anywhere in the country, and that comes on the heels of the time when you couldn't ship anything in the country. Well, your transportation czar, who used to be the mayor of a small city in Indiana, kind of comes under fire. And then when Joe Biden can't explain why he's got classified documents stored in his garage by the Corvette, people don't notice what's going on with Kamala Harris. It's not so much that Kamala Harris is doing better. It's that she's not failing as noticeably as everybody else in the Biden administration. And there is some truth to the fact that if Biden is going to run in 2024, and it does seem that that is his plan, that there isn't going to be that much focus on Kamala Harris as the leader of the brigade to potentially take over for Joe Biden.
Right.
Because really, Kamala's already plotting this, Brian. Right. You know, who's she going to call racist and who's she going to call sexist? And how many people is she going to need to do that to ensure that she ends up the nominee for the Democrats whenever Joe Biden steps off the stage?
So think about this, too. She doesn't have to cast the tie-breaking vote in the Senate, so she doesn't have anything consequential to do. She was told she was going to focus from the Democratic perspective on voter rights. She didn't really show up for that. She was going to focus on the border. She did a couple of Zoom calls and one to an empty border crossing. So she doesn't really do that. So they're saying these are good times because nothing's expected, because, great, she won't do anything. How crazy is that criteria? She doesn't want to have pressure to excel. This is good news?
Yeah, look, I mean, this is where we are in Joe Biden in his administration. Remember, Doris Kearns Goodwin wrote a great book called Team of Rivals, as you well know, as a history guy, where Abraham Lincoln put together the biggest and best cabinet that maybe had ever existed at that point in time in the United States history. Joe Biden put together a team of incompetence, and really it's just a constant competition to see who can screw up the most and take the attention off of Joe Biden for being the worst president in any of our modern era. And the reality is, like I said, Mayor Pete and Joe Biden have been taking all of the plaudits for their incompetence and hiding away Kamala Harris in the meantime.
You know, we realize, though, this was the opportunity of a lifetime. You go in there and you excel. And you're the 50-something-year-old vice president with an 80-year-old president. It's your chance to prove competence and excellence. Like Governor DeSantis came out of nowhere to establish himself in Florida. She decided the best thing for me to do is nothing, and therefore I wouldn't have to let anybody down by exceeding expectations. Crazy world we're living in, Clay. Thanks so much.
No doubt. Appreciate y'all.